Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about getting fired and why. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, what is the most common reasons as to why a software developer gets fired? And the short answer is going to be number one, a bad attitude, or that the person is a bad culture fit, and the second thing is that they can't do the job. Well, I'm not saying in any order here, but those are usually the two reasons. Let me explain. So I hope that this makes sense to you. If you are causing tension between you and your coworkers, that's not a good thing. If you can't do the job and your work is always subpar or something like that, well, that's not a good thing. It's not good. Neither of these things are a good thing. And there's not really much more to it, because at the end of the day, guys, why you are hired is to be able to do these two things. That's why I try to teach as much as possible, or try to explain that you can't just pick one of these. It's not possible. You have to have both. You have to be able to cooperate with people, and you have to be able to produce the work. Without these two things, you're pointless, or there's no point in hiring you, because you're just going to cause problems for the company. So it's such a, for me, it's such a straightforward thing to understand that these two things are fundamental, because at the end of the day, this is how it works for every job, in every single company on the entire planet, and it doesn't matter if it's programming or whatever it is. If you can cooperate and you can do the work, then you're a good fit for that company, and there's no reason to switch you out. But if you don't have these things, well, then you're in the risk zone. So that's why it's so important for you to actually make sure that you have social skills and that you have the right attitude. And trust me, I've talked to people who say, well, Frederick, it's so hard. I mean, I don't like it, and they've never said that they are negative or depressed or something like that, and I kind of go, I'm sorry to be the one to have to tell you this, but nobody gives a shit about if you have had a rough childhood, or if you are depressed, or if you're suicidal. All of these things, and your boss doesn't care about that. And I'm very sorry, your coworkers most likely don't care either. They care about the attitude that you have at work. And unless you can do the only thing that humans have figured out how in order to solve this problem, you're going to get fired. And that is to put on that nice little mask that everybody has. Yeah, each mask looks different. Some people hide it behind humor, some people hide it behind indifference or whatever. Just put it on and keep it on so that we don't have to deal with the mess underneath. And that's what everybody wants. And just keep on doing that while you're at work, because you have to. Because nobody, as I said, you are a resource to the vast majority of companies, and very few companies will care about how you feel. So, that's the purpose for you being there. Your purpose is to be able to do this in an effective manner. And if you have to fake it, then you have to fake it. And when it comes to skills, it's the same sort of thing. Getting fired for being an underachiever or not being good at programming is also something that happens. And it usually happens very quickly. And this is why I tell people it's extremely important for you to not focus overly on just getting the coding interview or learning some trendy tool or something like that. What's important is that you learn the core skills, and that you take the time to actually learn those so well that you can do the job, and then be a little bit flexible. And then, of course, you have to continue that learning. You're going to find out that, oh, I can't just sit and say that I'm going to just use these tools, because in this company they're also using a few other tools that I'm not familiar with, and then you have to adopt those as well. And if you can't do that, or if you're unwilling to make that investment, you won't be able to do the job, and you will once again be let go. You're going to get fired. Because nobody, as I've said before, it's not about you. It's never been about you. It's about everybody. This is something that is so tiring for me, at the very least, to hear from people where they feel as if the world owes them something, and they don't. The world doesn't owe you anything. The world has been designed for a very specific sort of person when it comes to IT, and that is an independent, skilled, and sociable or sociably likable person. That's what people care about. It's not for everyone. This is not for everyone. I'm sorry to say, it's not for everyone. And unless you can fill the role of that individual, then you're not going to fit in. I'm very sorry to say. So what I want you to take away from this is that the main reasons why developers get fired is, number one, that you have a poor attitude or you cause disruptions in the workplace, or secondly, that you don't have the skills to actually do the job, or that you fuck up all the time. And you have to do whatever is necessary to make that a non-issue. If that means that you need to go to a psychiatrist, or you need to take some pills or something, or you need to put on the mask and just pretend that you're happy while at work, or if it means that you need to study late in the night, or maybe get some tutoring, or do any other types of learning in order to get your skills up to a level where the company feels that, oh, okay, he or she, you can kind of do this job now. That's what is required. That's survival. That's what it all comes down to. Nobody gives a shit about if you fail or succeed. All that's going to happen is, if you fail, we're going to get rid of you. And if you succeed, well, then we don't have any problem. I don't really care how you succeed, just that you do. And that, my friend, is life. Have a great day.